if we continue to teach like we currently do, we are teaching for a past that is gone. We have to be realistic about the future because these children today are competing and participating in a global world and not a localized environment. The reality is technology will solve a lot of geographical barriers because it will allow education to be equal, like truly equal. A child in Moranga can get on the web and do a class in Stanford the same way a student at Stanford attends that class. And so when we look at that reality, I think it would be very careless of us to say or not to recognize the power of technology in education and why it is absolutely necessary.
How well do we understand the problem around which we are throwing all kinds of interventions, which we call curriculum reform? What are we trying to change? And how well do we understand the needs of future generations that we're in this prescriptive mode, legislating, inscribing curriculum that will then inform their future? I think that being prescriptive and putting so much hope in curriculum as a set of interventions that creates an education outcome and creates educated people is, in my view, a very limited attempt to begin to grapple with the fundamental change that we need to think about.
We're quite active in the education space, so you've been discussing some of this, but the network as a whole touches education in a variety of ways. So we have the Aga Khan Education Service with the nursery, primary and secondary schools. We have the Aga Khan Academy in Mombasa, which has a special curriculum. We have the Aga Khan University, and you've heard a lot about it, but we've got postgraduate education in medicine and nursing. We've got the University Hospital. We've got the Institute for Human Development, IED that you've heard about, the School for Media and Communications, the East Africa Institute, and other programs that are under development.
The idea that we have a clamor of curriculum reforms in a country is not a mistake, and therefore we should not apologize about it. In fact, literature, current literature and curriculum indicates that curriculum is a living thing that you don't finish today and keep in the locker, come back 10 years later and say that you want to review or reform it. Institutions are expected to be improving on a component or several components of their curriculum as research keeps coming on.
Quality of teaching and learning in institutions of higher learning has been an area of concern for many and for quite a long time. The basic is that most faculty that you find in higher institutions did not necessarily go through a teaching background. So you find that when it comes to the classroom, the delivery of information is hindered with because of the kind of strategies that they use. In order for students to engage with the material that is supposed to be learned, they need to be actively involved in the learning in a manner that makes the learning deep, so that they can use that learning that they have acquired, that is referred to as deep learning, in their future and also in their practice in daily life.